Mike Israetel admits that the first draft that was examined by Solomon that all of us had talked about was actually the final draft after all. Do you not remember all those comments? Do you remember them? What do you think about that now? People were threatening lawsuits against Solomon, suggesting even I could have a suit against me. For what? Saying the truth? This is what's wrong with the world right now. You speak out, you have an opinion, and those who refuse to believe it or accept it, they want to take you down. And so what a turn of events. After proving that the document had mislabeled timestamps, one was saying it was in March and the other one was saying it was in August, saying that that was the first draft, but that it somehow ended up in the university and that was the document that other people had read. Well, he's saying, hey, after checking it out, and actually looking at it, about 5 days later, I come to realize that was the first document, that it wasn't the final draft. I mean, is that even possible? Is it possible that Mike didn't know if it was the first draft or the final draft? I mean, it was over 12 years ago. Maybe he completely forgot what he wrote about. He didn't remember any of it. Or is he pulling a fast one over all of us? Is he admitting to this only to later say, I gotcha, it wasn't the first draft. It was in fact the final. Time will tell, and I'm not sure. Remember, I'm just reporting the news. I'm not trying to make shit up. I'm not trying to ruin someone's career. I don't think people are going to care. Perhaps he will get even more followers. I mean, it would kind of be like admitting you're a fake natty as a prank and then telling everyone you're natural after all.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you, Greg.
Upon review, the dissertation Solomon examined was indeed the correct document. Now, don't you think that when Milo Wolf made that super long video defending Mike, interviewing Mike, that he would have known at the time if it was in fact the first document or the final draft? What does Milo think now? Is Milo mad at his friend? Will Milo be posting a video saying guys like Greg, Johnny, Lyle, and Solomon, that they were all perfectly within the right to make those exact videos? Most of the errors were clerical, a misplaced negative sign on a few occasions, and a table pasting misalignment repeated across 3 tables. There were a lot more than just a few of those mistakes. I mean, it would have better to say the hundreds of mistakes were just clerical. And so how is it possible that hundreds of errors were made that were clerical? Even a few, obviously, those can slip by once in a while here or there. But to think that a thesis passed in that format with that many errors, how is that possible? I personally don't understand. Did the person correcting or reviewing it, looking over it, actually read it? Would they not have seen all those errors? Remember in a previous video I said, don't they sit there with a red pen and look through it and start circling? And once they get to 50 errors, say, you know what? You have to redo it. It's not good enough. These are now fixed and will appear in the official archive. And so how can you officially change a paper 12 years after it was due? I mean, there's sometimes in university that perhaps I didn't get 100% on the test or exam. Can I go back to Acadia University and say, I want you to change my grade. I have thought about it. I've studied. I now speak better French. And so I want a higher grade on my French report card. It's been too long. For full transparency, that is what I want. I want an entire video from Mike on Mike's channel explaining exactly what happened and why we're at this point. Why didn't Mike admit, yeah, that's the final draft? Milo says, hey, you know what? 200 mistakes. What do you think, Mike? Yep. Clerical error. Let's move on. People wouldn't have cared. They only care because of the lying and the cover-up. And so why is there no full transparency? This is not full transparency. This is trying to silence the people who've made videos speaking out and saying exactly what they should have said. The original, the corrected copy, and the data tables are linked in Milo Wolf's video description. It's a trip taking that much criticism at once, but I've dished out plenty myself, fair play. And so perhaps after seeing more videos coming out saying, well, how was your final draft that you wrote in August? Why was it then relabeled in March, 5 months prior? Does that make sense? Or the corrected timestamp saying this was changed, insert October 3rd, Mean Girls meme.
On October 3rd, he asked me what day it was. It's October 3rd.
Or that a media team was the ones that had his paper, then it wasn't even from Mike himself, that they had posted it. And with marks showing it had been altered. So unless Mike later comes back with this is a joke, that this isn't real, this is not addressing it. This is just saying, shut up, stop criticizing me, and let's move on. Addressing it with full transparency is describing exactly what occurred. Telling us exactly how Milo Wolf got that final document, which is different from the one that you are saying that you wrote. How did Milo get a final document that had fewer mistakes than this? You first stated that there was a different final version of your PhD thesis. How believable is it that for multiple days you couldn't say for certain which document was your PhD and which wasn't? Also, the spelling mistakes were just one bullet point in Solomon's video. The more pressing issue is, and always has been, the poor methodology and the weak to non-existent creation of knowledge accomplished by the paper. I loved you for years like the father I never had, but I find this all pretty unconvincing and very unprofessional from your side. He didn't even mention the lying, we're going to call it lying, of what other people had stated. Remember, an author had stated there were 5 different things that could affect your voting performance. Israel said they had stated there were 3. He omitted 2. I talked about this in my video. He was busy flirting with the huz and didn't have the time to add the other 2. And so how can you quote someone else as saying, this is what they said, but not say what they said? You can't just invent what other famous authors are saying. I don't understand this response, and it adds more questions than answers. How was the dissertation Solomon exam the correct document if you were showing a later version where such errors were corrected? Yeah, explain that. Full transparency would be, I lied. I thought I could get away with it, but I was caught in 4K. And so now, I admit that was the original document. And so what I did, or what Milo did, or what my team did, or a media team did, was to rewrite the paper to make it look better because we thought we could get away with it. But after reading the comments and after thinking about this, after meditating, I've decided I don't want to live my life as a lie. I want to come clean. That would solve it. Isn't that what everyone would want? Isn't that what we want? At the end of the day, who really cares about something from so long ago? Yeah. See, that was my point all along, that no one would actually hold it against them in the long run. Short term, sure, people are going to get views. It's drama. People like to talk about things. But long term, I don't think there's going to be even 10,000 followers that are going to leave Mike's channel. I don't think the follower count is going down just because he lied, that he admits to lying. I think you just move on. You say, yeah, you know what? This is a pretty shitty paper, but it still passed. There you go. That's the requirements for a PhD. It's probably a lot lower than you were thinking, but yet here I am with my PhD after all. And trust me, they're not going to revoke my PhD after passing it. They don't care. There are 2 types of people. One type of person wants to learn new information. They want to hear. They're open to it. The other type of person wants to defend what they already know. And so many people are fans of Mike, and they're one kind of person. They just want to hear Mike tell them what they already believe, whatever that is. And so if Mike says what they're thinking, go for it. But if someone comes along and says the opposite, no, you're a bad person. And so if I say, you don't need to bulk with such a surplus of calories to put on muscle, many people write, you're wrong. No way, it's not true. They don't want to hear new information. They don't want to hear that you can maintain a lean and healthy weight, that you don't have to get fat in the off season, you don't have to get sloppy, and that you can stay lean year round and still put on muscle. They don't want to hear that. They want to hear Yep, bulking time. It's my winter arc. Time to get a surplus, eat a bunch of food. They don't want to hear that Turk Builder Max actually works. It's a Juga turkistanica from Uzbekistan. They want to assume that it's the copycat plant from China and that it does nothing. Because I'm going to find any reason to doubt you. Didn't somebody do a study where they used one of your pills? And didn't that prove it didn't work? No. They used one of those pills, they weren't told to work out, and they used an in-body scam testing device to prove nothing. They could have used Anavar and it would have still proved nothing. And so you'll grasp at straws because you're the type of person that does not want to hear new information. You don't learn anything new. Whatever you already believe, that is true. What does Jeff Nippert think of all this? I mean, one of his good buddies, Mike, just admitted that he's in fact a liar. And so, is Jeff going to be mad? Is he going to be upset? Well, let's see. Happy birthday, Jeff Nippert. It's his birthday today. Gotta be super annoying to have stuff from over a decade ago dragged up and dogpiled. Yeah. I can see that. That's a fair assessment. I think Jeff is accurate. Like, who wants their past to be brought up again? I mean, for example, when Coach Greg was arrested for literally selling steroids, you all know that. I've admitted this about a dozen times. Every couple months, somebody brings it up. Almost the same time frame as this happened to Mike. And so when people continue to bring things up, you have to either own it or try to block it to make it go away. And so Mike tried to block it and make it go away. And so is it possible that Jeff is projecting? Why is he coming so hard to defend Mike on something Mike did in his past? And so is it possible that Jeff also has a dirty little secret that he doesn't want anyone to share? Given the public interest, though, it's probably worth clarifying how a copy with more errors, Solomon's version, when a copy with fewer errors, Milo's version, also existed. Did Mike not just admit that Solomon had the final draft? That was the final version? And that Milo's copy was a copy that was altered perhaps from that media team? And so, Jeff, how can you be critical of Solomon when he did absolutely nothing wrong? Why did it take 5 or 6 days in order for Mike to come out and admit the truth? But I think what they don't realize is that Mike right now, I mean, this week alone, has been lying to you. But you're saying it's from 12 years ago. The lie wasn't from 12 years ago, but the problem is he lied to you right now.
I guess technically I submitted the wrong draft to the graduate school.
Oopsie.
I don't experience the emotion of pride much.
And he's downplaying it by saying it was a few graphical errors. I believe that most of the people didn't watch the Solomon video. They didn't watch my videos. And they're commenting saying, well, it's 12 years ago, a few graphical errors. It was more than that, and he's lying now. Milo Wolf was saying, Solomon needs to take his video down. Bad person. He's going to get sued. Do you not remember all those comments? Do you remember them? What do you think about that now? People were threatening lawsuits against Solomon, suggesting even I could have a suit against me. For what? Saying the truth? This is what's wrong with the world right now. You speak out, you have an opinion, and those who refuse to believe it or accept it, they want to take you down. For coaching, click the link in the description. Remember, I can coach you to lose weight. I won't get you to do a permabulk or to get extra love cells. You perhaps won't need surgeries in order to get that leaner physique. You'll eat in a calorie deficit. You can get my frigging cookbook, Seco bars, 50% off, code SECO, as well as GO2 Max, Turk Builder Max. And if you want to do papers without mistakes through and through, G-Focus Limitless. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm. Please like the video if you liked it. Don't forget to watch one of those 2 bloops. And until next time, I am out.